If you've been watching AI content recently, then probably your feed is filled with videos like this one, where people are using Obsidian with Claude, showing you these really nice animation and saying that Claude is now basically alive with his brain. Or videos like these ones, where saying it's Jarvis basically talking to you and knowing everything that you have about your business. And it's becoming a little bit ridiculous online, where if you follow these people, you can see like this guy is starting with 30K MRR, then 100K MRR, 150, jumping to 550, and then 700, back to 200. You see that back to 15K, which is like people are just faking all these stuff, putting some nice demo animation, and basically creating content online, trying to hype you, trying to sell you certain things. So in this video, we're going to clarify what is actually useful in this second brain concept, what is not so useful and more into marketing and hyping and stuff like that. And my goal after this video is that you will get some clarity on what is it that you can actually use in your business so you can move forward and be more productive. So let's jump in. So my problem started with Obsidian in general. I have a founder friend who is really busy, and all of a sudden, rather than I see him selling and marketing his services, I see him setting up Obsidian because he told me that, bro, this is the thing that you need to use with Claude, otherwise it doesn't have a brain. Unfortunately, this is the way that it was sold to people, and a lot of people started installing Obsidian and starting putting all this data so they can see this visualization. And what YouTubers do, and these guys on Instagram, they literally just click on this button and they click on animate. So these nodes start to move, and then it looks like, oh my God, Claude is learning, right? And basically, if you zoom in on what is these nodes actually doing, it just tells you that this README is connected to this file, but it technically doesn't provide you any insights that you can use in your business. It's all just a bunch of nonsense. So that's just for the graph. The second thing with Claude Code. Basically, if you connect Claude Code to this, it does not have proper search over your document. There's no RAG functionalities. And if you're unfamiliar with RAG, it's basically a way to retrieve small chunks of text that is most relevant to what you asked for, helping the AI have better, more accurate answers. And let's say you have such a massive data that you need Claude to understand and search. You won't be able to do this accurately because it's going to search the way it usually searches, using code and searching with these files. And the only advantage here is like you have these files, yeah, sure, you can read them in normal text, but the same thing you can do with just normal Visual Studio Code. So similar to this, and this one is also for free. Obsidian is also for free, but here at least you can write actual code. So if you need to change the code here, if you need to run it, this is the traditional way of running code. So there's literally no difference of using Claude Code from here, from this terminal, and you have the files here right next to you and you see what is changing and what is not changing, then to use it with Obsidian. If anything, with Obsidian, there is no chat window as far as I saw that you can just use Claude Code here and edit here directly. You need to have like somewhere else to do this. I saw one advantage if you have a vault that you can connect this database somewhere in the cloud so your team can kind of see it, but then it becomes similar to Notion, similar to all these other stuff. So I don't understand the specific hype about Obsidian in general. And funny enough, I created a post about this that also went viral on Reddit. And basically 300,000 people saw it. And my point is that I generally do not understand the hype behind Claude Code and Obsidian, and people on YouTube telling you that this is the agentic OS. And if you don't use it like this, then it's not agentic OS. I think this is just a little bit misleading. And the main point that is misleading is that it's costing us time by learning a new tool that is technically unnecessary just because it's trending online. And this is exactly my issue with these kind of videos, is that we are basically wasting our time where we could have been using AI that is really, really useful, but on things that actually move the needle forward. Like, how can we set up this directory in a way that it is connected, that it has some automations? So the most value that I got recently from using Claude Code and using agentic workflows is when I automated my school posting. So on this community that I have, my finance, so it automatically download all the invoices, the payouts, and then pushes them to Google Drive, which is then getting sent to my bookkeeping, stuff like that. So all of this is now I have in a folder where I have like my agency OS, and then I run all these workflows. Also end-to-end workflows are connected here. So Claude Code can see them, provision them, etc. I have SaaS ideas, my strategy document, even the website of my agency is here. So I have everything in one folder without seeing the stupid nodes where it just brings me nothing just because it looks kind of nice. And my other issue with running a voice AI assistant like this, like Jarvis, that tells you back what you need to do, it's really not necessary. It's just an extra cost that you can basically do with a simple automation that tells you what is happening. For example, let's have a look at this video.
So wake up, that is song. How's that doing?
Good evening, sir. Pulling up our app stats now. Over the last 7 days, our campaigns generated 1.2 million combined views and pulled in 8,400 user signups. For organic content, I'm still posting 45 short-form videos.
Yeah, sure. This video looks really interesting when you see it. And then you can see the top comment for people who have common sense is like, bro, how much are you spending just to get this stupid update? Because voice AI is pretty expensive. And unless you're replacing someone else like a virtual assistant or an actual person who needs to do something else, like in doctors or actual clinics that they need to be replaced to do maybe giving people injections, which I actually saw, which is a good use case to use voice AI in that case, then it just doesn't make sense to put it here as a voice assistant. You can just use Claude Code, connect it, and give you a very short update. But nevertheless, recently I've been getting many of these videos, and I thought I'll make a very short update on what I think makes sense to use and what I think it doesn't make sense to use. And if you want to use a second brain, make sure to use as many automations as you can that does not require tokens. So automations like this one, where I did the downloading of their receipt, which is literally just code that runs without an actual agent that needs to run it. This runs automatically, but then you use the AI to create this automation for you. That's how you should think about it. The whole point here is to reduce the cost. And now even with agents, like today is the 7th, and I'm already using 74% of my agentic coding. So like we are burning all of our limits within literally 7 days. So you need to be now more careful about the prompting, about the use case, so you can preserve these tokens and not explode our AI spending. I hope this video helped you get some clarity on how to use the second brain in general and how to use tools like Obsidian, etc. And if you want me to do a deep dive about the second brain and how I set up my second brain for my AI automation and what I think it makes sense to use it as agentic and where I think it doesn't make sense, let me know in the comments and I'm happy to create a deep dive video about that. Thank you so much for watching and I see you in the next one.